Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So we're back in our Senate check-in for 2026. It is our election night 2026 scenario. It is, of course, the Senate election here. In this race, Republicans are posed to keep the Senate due to most of the seats in the said Senate being strong Republican senators, red states in general. Not really much Democrat seats in this said election. So, and with the surprise Pennsylvania upset in 2024 and David McCormick's victory, Republicans are pretty are opposed to keep that said Senate. But Republicans, they're not worried about winning the Senate. They're worried about actually expanding in the Senate. That is actually what's going to determine if 2026 will be a good year for Republicans or not. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and see. Meanwhile, Democrats, the opposition party, they're hoping to revive their dying political party and hopefully generate momentum into a possible 2028 victory. But we're going to see how this turns out generally. All right, it is 6:00 p.m. Kentucky has closed its polls. Now, really, we won't get a result out of Kentucky. This is Mitch McConnell's seat. In this scenario, we're just going to say there's no way a frail Mitch McConnell is going to run for re-election. I hope he doesn't. But really, it's 7 p.m. That is the calls we will be receiving there shortly. But yes, we can establish our colors. Light blue for hold, light red for hold for the Republicans, and dark blue for Democrats is a gain. Dark red for Republicans is a gain. So we got our colors here established. We can now make a projection. The Republican, whether that may be, will win in Kentucky. Georgia is too close to call, but we can establish that Ashley Moody will win re-election. In South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, who is allegedly likely to be the next candidate nominee or the next candidate itself, will win re-election. Virginia, this is Mark Warner's seat. He will win, giving Democrats 35 seats. Democrats are leading right now, and they will at the beginning of the night, but that's going to turn around very quickly. It's now 7:30 p.m. We are ready to make some projections. Senator Shelley Moore Capitol will win re-election in the state of West Virginia. Meanwhile, in Ohio, the senator there, the former lieutenant governor, now senator, will win. I actually did forget his name. I can look it up, but I'm not going to spend majority. Yes, John Husted. Yes, he will win re-election. He is viewed as a strong candidate, and just like that, Republicans now lead in the count. North Carolina, too close to call. Let's take a look at some calls here. We have Maine. That is too close to call. New Hampshire, too close to call. Massachusetts. We can establish that Ed Markey will win re-election. Senator Reid will win re-election in the state of Rhode Island. Cory Booker, too close to call in that race. In Delaware, the senator, I want to believe Chris Coons, he wins re-election. Democrats have taken the lead once again until we call some Republican seats here. Alabama, Tommy Tuberville, he wins re-election. In Tennessee, I think it's Marsha Blackburn. There's alleged possibility that she will run for governor in 2022. I mean, in 2026, so we don't necessarily know. But regardless, we have zero doubts to believe that that candidate will win. The Republican will win in Tennessee, no doubt about it. Michigan is too close to call. Illinois, we can make a projection that that state, which I will, that's Dick Durbin's seat, will go for the Democrats. We have Hyde-Smith, Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith will win in the state of Mississippi. In Texas, the race for John Cornyn's seat, that is too close to call. Oklahoma, though, we can project that Markwayne Mullin is going to serve a full term in the United States Senate. And in the state of Kansas, we will officially say that Roger Marshall will win re-election, a second term in office. Now, this is, of course, our map right now. 41 seats for the Republicans, 39 seats for the Democrats. No flips. I don't expect no flips because, as you know, the flips will happen at the end where we get more closer races. But this is what it's looking like right now. 8:30 p.m. I think we can make a projection that at 8:30 we can project that the state of Arkansas goes to Tom Cotton. Tom Cotton, of course, he will win re-election. All right, it's now 9 p.m. We can make a projection in the state of Texas. John Cornyn will win re-election. The state of New Jersey, we can make a projection that that will go for Cory Booker. Maine, too close to call. New Hampshire, too close to call. Georgia, North Carolina, too close to call. Michigan, Louisiana, though, I think it's actually Senator Cassidy. He wins re-election in that said state. Joni Ernst, that seat is too close to call. Joni Ernst has been recognized as a more weaker candidate. He has taken out an incumbent Democrat in 2012. I do not think that's going to. So she may advance. I am not sure. We cannot call that race for her yet. Minnesota, though, the Lieutenant Governor, and Peggy Flanagan, it's too close to call, but she is looking to win that seat. South Dakota and Nebraska have been called for Republicans. We can now make a projection in Colorado. John Hickenlooper will win, and we believe he will win by a wide margin. In New Mexico, Senator Juan, I want to believe it's a Ben Ray Juan, one-term Democrat. It's too close to call right now. We can make a projection that in Wyoming, that race specifically, it's not John Barrasso's seat. It's Cynthia Lummis. She will win. Okay, this is our map so far. Now at the top of the hour for 10 p.m. We already called 9 p.m. races. We are ready to make a projection. First off, I want to project before we do so. Flanagan will win in Minnesota. We got those turns in Hennepin County. That will be the case. In Montana, Steve Daines will win re-election. And that's the only state that we know of that will close its polls at 10 p.m. unless they categorize as Idaho as an 11 p.m. state. 10 p.m. state, but in 2024, 2022, it has been categorized as a Pacific time state, so I'm not so sure that we will get results from Idaho, and we usually don't. But yes, that is too close to call. Or, well, not too close to call, too early. We can't even call it. The polls have not closed there yet. We can take a look and make a projection and take a look at Iowa. Joni Ernst will win in the state of Iowa. 49 seats for Republicans, 42 seats for Democrats. Really, Republicans, 51 seats in order to win the Senate. Republicans, they are not worried at all. And ideally, in Democrats, in order for them to win the Senate, they would need to win Iowa and Texas, or in this case, gain Iowa and Texas. Those seats are not even viewed as contested or battleground seats. John Cornyn, although he has been recognized as an establishment figure, he has been known for his very good electoral record. He's been recognized as a very strong candidate. Joni Ernst is pretty weak, but Iowa is considered more of a red state, more red than Texas. And of course, in the 2024 election, it showed that Iowa is not trending back to the left. It's actually going more rightward to like a Missouri, which makes more sense because Missouri has Kansas City and St. Louis. You would think that would, of course, mean that Missouri would be more liberal than Iowa, but apparently Iowa is becoming more of its true colors. But there's no pathway really for Democrats to win, because ideally you have Idaho and Alaska. You add those to the table, Republicans win. I mean, there is no pathway forward. But we can actually look at the state of Maine, which has been viewed and recognized as a very close race. Democrats looking to pick that up, but in total, we are actually going to project that's going to go to Susan Collins. And Susan Collins, a more moderate, more liberal Republican from the state, will be winning re-election. She has won a lot of Democrat voters and Republican women that are rewarding her for her bipartisan meetings and voting against most of Trump's cabinet picks. So they have decided to reward Susan Collins. Susan Collins will win in Maine. New Hampshire. We are possibly looking to call that state now for the said either Jeanne Shaheen is running for re-election. This race has been viewed as a toss-up, but as of right now, we are ready to project that Shaheen will win in the state of New Hampshire. She will win. Republicans were hoping to pick that up, but that's not going to be the case this time around. All right, it's now 11 p.m., and we are ready to make some projections. Idaho, I want to believe it's Senator Risch, but we believe that he will win re-election. In Oregon, Mr. Markey, I think it's Jeff Merkley. You gotta not get yourself confused with the Massachusetts senator. Similar name, Ed Merkley, Mr. Jeff Merkley. Ah, darn it! Shoot! What am I doing? I was looking at the results at my phone, but I think don't worry, we can easily fix this. So I would say, yes, Merkley wins re-election. Let's fix our map here. No, not a big deal. Not a big deal. That was weird. I was thinking of it, and then it just happened. Went a little too ahead of myself. But yes. Here's our projected races. Whoops. Look, it's supposed to be Illinois, Minnesota. Okay. Yeah, and as of right now, we can project that Republicans have won the Senate, are keeping the Senate red. That will be the case by 12 o'clock p.m., or you'd say 12 o'clock p.m., because Alaska usually comes in very late, like the next day. But you will know by the next day that Republicans will win the Senate. There is no possible way that Democrats can avoid that. But there's something that they will probably win, and that is in the state of New Mexico. That state will go for Senator Lujan, and likely so. Okay, we are ready to make a projection in Georgia. Georgia, it could be the first flip. Let's see. It's a battleground toss-up. But ultimately, we are basically viewing that this we're not ready to call Georgia yet. Too close. North Carolina. We have made a projection in that race. Yeah. But we are ready to project that we think Democrats may gain the seat. That is if Roy Cooper was to... Actually, no. I don't know necessarily. But if Wally Wickel is to run, then I would say this would be Republican. Let's just call it Republican right now. Republicans will keep North Carolina. As of Georgia, it looks like Jon Ossoff may be keeping his seat. It really does depend on the candidate, guys. The only guy I think he can take out Ossoff is Republican Brian Kemp. But in what means, I don't think Brian Kemp could, he has not shown any interest in running, which has got a lot of Republicans pretty nervous. Polls are showing Ossoff defeating decisively every single candidate and challenger. If it was Buddy Carter, Ossoff would win. But hypothetical polling, specifically with Buddy Carter, we are ready to make a projection that the Senator, Jon Ossoff, will win in Georgia. Alaska. Dan Sullivan will win. And finally, in the state of Michigan, closest of them all, what we are looking to view that Mike Rogers will indeed flip that seat. This is a Republican +1 scenario. So the Republicans did expand the Senate. They had a chance that they could lose North Carolina. They could lose Maine. That would have been a bad year for them. But they did get what they wanted. They wanted to expand, but they expanded not as much as they were hoping. Meaning they were hoping to flip Michigan, Georgia, New Hampshire. But that obviously didn't happen. Shaheen and Ossoff are very popular in their states. And as of right now, though, it looks like Ossoff will win re-election only if Brian Kemp runs. Then he's probably in trouble. Shaheen, as of right now, has a lot of momentum. But what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.